Hello. Today I want to tie a fly in honor of Dave Whitlock. Until recently, Dave Whitlock was only a name I saw in a byline or at the bottom of some artwork. But I saw some video he did on um, a show, an old PBS show called The Angler's Art. And he was a likable enough guy, made great contributions to our sport, and I thought I would do something to kind of as a tribute to him. Um, by no means will this do anything he's done justice, but let's give it a shot. So we have a size 14 hook in the vise, starting some tan thread, 8/0 uni thread, and we're going to wind the to the back of the shank. And for a tail, and I'm not sure I've got the pattern perfectly down here, and just to be fair, I didn't tie 3 or 4 of these or 10 of these and try and make a perfect model and then film it. This is it. I'm tying one of these flies, and to be honest, though, I tie a pattern similar to this, and it works really well in a couple of places we go. Works very well down at Harmon's Lodge in the Potomac River down there for those stock trout. But this pattern is the fox squirrel nymph, I think he called it. So we have some wood duck fibers for a tail, just a wisp. We have a little short piece of oval gold tinsel, and here I have, this is a mixture of some red fox squirrel and Antron, just to give it a little sparkle. I tried to imitate what he does. He has, or I think Wapsi's making them now. They have actual fibers for these, or actual dubbing for this. It's like SLFs. I forget what that stands for off the top of my head. It's synthetic living fibers, maybe. And they have a couple of shades for the abdomen of this fly and then the thorax. In my case, I have these, I had some dyed orange fox squirrel, or it was the orangish part off the side of the fox squirrel. Let's put it that way. I don't think it was dyed. And then I mixed it with a little gray and a little bit of that Antron like we talked. So this is the boring part of every fly, right? And I could probably fast forward through this, but I would have to stop talking. So here we are, we're still wrapping dubbing, working toward the front, trying to build a little taper so you can wrap back over and work your way forward. I'm going to need a little more dubbing to get a little closer to the eye of the hook. I want to leave a little room there. I want to do a little bulb of fuzzy gray squirrel dubbing there as well. Make that thorax look a little different. So we'll push that down and wrap a little bit, come back over it, and then finish right in front. And it's a good place to stop and add in a whip finish so that I can use the rotary feature and the bobbin cradle to wrap the gold tinsel forward, make the rib. So we'll hang the bobbin over the bobbin cradle, get a hold of that gold tinsel, and kind of space these out a little bit. 4 or 5 wraps seems to look good. Leaves enough of the dubbing and the fuzz show through. That fuzz, I've mentioned it, fuzzy bodies and other videos. I think what we're doing there, it's going to imitate movement or gills. So here again, I'm making that look a little awkward, but I'm in between the phone that I use for a camera and trying not to bump things as I tie off the gold rib. So snip out the excess. And for the thorax, I'm going to use a dubbing loop, but I'm going to use it in a way that that doesn't, I guess it's less conventional. What I'm going to do is kind of wrap the dubbing onto the thread loosely at first, and then I'm going to fold the thread in half and make the loop, and then twist that. loop and then wrap that. So here we are. We'll get enough dubbing on again. Boring. Sorry about that. And we'll bring in our shepherd's crook and kind of grab the middle of the dubbed area, double it over, throw a loop over the top or a wrap over the top to kind of close the loop, and do a little couple of twists here. Too many twists will make this nice and tight, so keep that in mind if you want to make a real tightly dubbed body. And I'm not going to use the bobbin cradle this time. I'm only going around about 4 or 5 times, so it shouldn't really do much there in terms of extra wraps of the tying thread. So we'll get the hook out of the way, tie that down, and snip off the excess. And this stuff goes a little wonky. There are some stray fibers everywhere, and we'll snip those out, work our way back a little bit, and leave room to tie in a soft hackle. So I've prepared a Partridge soft hackle, pulled all the fibers back from the tip, cut that little triangle for a tie down anchor, and threw a couple of wraps over it. I threw one more. I felt like I needed a tight wrap just to make sure it didn't pull out. And then we'll clip the hackle with our fancy hackle pliers and pull the fibers back. So we pulled the fibers back, and I'm going to turn the vise as I go and kind of keep holding fibers back. These didn't cooperate quite as well as I had hoped, or they do on some feathers. We're going for about a turn and a half to 2 turns, not too many fibers, and just similar to any other soft hackle fly. So we'll stop there and cross our thread, weave a wrap through there to kind of hold things in place, and another 1 or 2 just to hold things down. And I can separate the fibers where we tied it down and snip out the excess. Alright, mission almost accomplished there, and so now let's straighten it out and pull everything back, and kind of starting at the front, just use thread wraps to push any errant fibers or all the fibers back towards the bend of the hook, and stop there. Like I said, these fibers kind of went a little wonky. It's really nice when they umbrella do that nice umbrella shape towards the bend, but that feather wasn't as didn't play well. But here we go. Put in a whip finish, and we could call the fly done right here. But what I like to do, and I fish over stock trout a lot, I like to have a hot spot. So I had a bobbin with red thread in it, and I just started that in, and I'm going to cover up what's there, give it a little bigger head, and kind of whip finish and head cement that. So as an alternative, I could have taken the original thread, the thread I was using, that tan thread, and hit it with a red marker and kind of wrapped over everything and create a red thread or a red head that way. But like I said, this one was laying right there in the tying desk, so I just switched to red thread and covered everything up. So we'll snip out the excess red thread, come in with the head cement, and pull everything back. What I noticed is I had some very fine fibers, so I don't recommend playing with fire around your fly tying desk, but that's a great way to kind of singe away the fibers before you add head cement. Kind of came down hard with that big drop of head cement there, so I have plenty on there. I'll take a little away with my finger. Got lucky it didn't kind of wick into the other fibers, and there it is. So sorry, Dave, I didn't make that look quite as good as yours or quite as easy as you do, but thanks for watching, and if you want to learn more about me, look me up on Amazon.com. Be safe.